It is Sunday, and we have just finished having our first Shabbos in Hadassah and Kerem. This is our second hospital in Israel. However, people are just beginning to hear of the story of Simcha Dov and how much we have gone through already. So I would like to start from the beginning. I would like to share with you some of the clips we made a couple of years ago as we were first dealing with this disease and its challenges it would present us. I would also like to share with you Dovi's message that he shared at that time and how much that has continued to be the theme and the power that has kept us going. When Dovi was born, an extra light was brought into our home. There was a sense of joy that just permeated the house. He didn't have such an easy childhood. He had a lot of challenges that he had to overcome. He had a heart defect and he had some minor learning disabilities. And one thing after another, he overcame them. And he overcame them with joy. He overcame them with a smile on his face. A year ago, we moved to Israel and Dovi was enrolled in the yeshiva, which was really special for him. It was able to cater to his learning needs. It had great guys, a nice staff. Well, after Sukkot's time though, he started to limp. Initially we thought that limp was just a pulled muscle. He had gone on a tiyul and a long hike, and we thought that he had overexerted himself. However, the limp turned into a longer disability. We ended up using walking sticks, and the walking sticks turned into crutches. And crutches turned into a wheelchair. The doctors were at a loss. Everybody wanted to say, or didn't want to say, ALS. They wanted to stay away from that diagnosis, even though it was clearly a motor neuron deterioration. We did genetic testing at that time as well. Anything to be able to figure out what was going on. At that point in time, they were really unable to give a definitive diagnosis, so we looked to America. We contacted doctors here, different universities here, people who we knew, and it looked at that point in time like the person who was leading the way in that direction was Dr. Neil Schneider in Columbia University. He was the director of the ALS department. And if anyone could tell us it was not ALS, it would be him. At that time, we had the genetic testing came back. And Dovi had a mutated gene called the FUS gene that was known to cause early onset ALS. This was the worst diagnosis, the worst finding possible, because not only did it confirm that he had ALS, but he had a very aggressive form.
I want to confirm that my nephew, Rabbi David Kosofsky, and his wife are people of the highest integrity. Recently, their son, their 20-year-old son, Dovi, was diagnosed with a very rare and very aggressive form of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, which is caused by a mutant gene, and over a period of just a few months has deteriorated very rapidly.
How could it be? It was just a year ago that we were dancing at Menachem's wedding. Dovi was full of life, full of ability, a whole life ahead of him, looking forward to joining his yeshiva.
I felt when I found out that I have ALS is I felt sad, and it sort of felt sick to my stomach because it is a life-threatening disease, and it's just something scary to live with. I sort of thought to myself that I really have only two choices. Either you could be happy and live with it, or you could be sad and live with it. So I chose to be happy and live with it. I learned to appreciate about all the parts of the body that weren't working, and seeing other people being able to do different things, and appreciating the stuff that I still had. Feeling appreciation for all the things that I've lost and all the things that I can still do by connecting it back to where everybody gets those things from. Once I connect it, then you feel happier. Just knowing that everything that everybody does comes from Hashem. So just like how they can walk and I can't now, so it's all from Hashem, so it's all good. It just made my day-to-day life easier to cope with. I suggest for people when they're feeling sad and depressed that they should take a step back and realize that they still have good. You feel connected, and when you feel connected to Hashem, you feel happier.
It has been 2 years since that video was made, and Simcha Dov has continued to fight this disease and has lost the ability to use many of the limbs that he could still use when that video was made. But that message and that power of conviction to choose to be happy continues to be obvious and evident in his demeanor and how he deals with each stage. As it comes, he continues to choose to be happy. In fact, when it came time to be Moisef a name, and we were Meyayis with Reb Chaim Kanievsky, we chose to add the name Simcha, because that has been overwhelming midah that has led us and continues to give us strength to go forward.